In the previous 6 lessons, I presented a bunch of cool, unusual 4-note arpeggio shapes, namely A add 2, A minor add 2, A add flat 2, A 6 flat 2, and also 2 others, C 6 flat 2 and C add flat 2, that we repurposed to get an A7 sharp 9 sound. These are all different weird arpeggios in the key of A. I now offer one more. This one is A sus4 flat 2. And some neat things you can do with it on a guitar. Let's check it out. Like the A add flat 2 arpeggio we looked at last time, which was the A sus4 flat 2 gives you your root A, your flat 2 or flat 9 B flat, but instead of the 3rd, which sounds happy, we get the 4th. The suspended 4th, it sounds suspenseful in this case, even though that's not the actual use of the term suspended originally. So we have root, flat 2, 4, 5. You take it up an octave in the middle 2 strings, up another octave in the top 2 strings. As a chordal reference, an A sus4 flat 2 chord, you could play it like this. You could play it here. So it's very mysterious sounding, right? If you were to make that 4th the 3rd and just play A add flat 2, yeah, that's pretty creepy too, right? A sus4 flat 2, A add flat 2. A sus4 flat 2, A add flat 2. Sus4. So here's a neat diagonal 3-octave fretboard path for A sus4 flat 2. We're going to go 5, 6, 5, 7. And we're only using our first 3 fingers here. And then we're going to repeat that cell, that 4-note cell, an octave higher on the D and G strings. We're going to go 7, 8, 7, 9. So we got 5, 6, 5, 7, 7, 8, 7, 9. And then we're going to shift up to 1 more octave on the top 2 strings. We're going to go 10, 11, 10, 12. Put it all together, you have I'm using legato phrasing here, employing every available hammer-on and pull-off. But you could pick it if you want, or increase your picking percentage if you want. Now, some neat things you can do with it. Oftentimes, you learn a long 2 or 2.5 octave fretboard pattern, and it's like, okay, wow, well, how do I use that? The way to do that is to look for little bite-sized segments, what I call 1-octave shred cells, not even in 1 octave, just little fragments that you can use and that fit with the phrasing of, say, 16th notes or 16th-note triplets, things that you can actually inject into a solo lick. So, for example, you can go. So I'm using an upstroke here. The strokes before that don't really matter too much because you're hammering on. But that one you want to get to an upstroke because it helps you turn around. It's like a swimmer, like kicking off the side of the pool, going back. Okay, notice here I went index middle, index ring, that's fingering 1, 2, 1, 3. And I barred my ring finger here. When I went up and continued the pattern in 2 octaves, instead of barring, I went, did the position shift, right, with index finger. And now I use my pinky because that's as high as I'm going. If I were to continue and go, then I would shift again, index. But here, because that's as high as I'm going, I just decided to use my pinky. Sounds pretty cool, right? Over an A pedal tone, an A tonal center. And you could think of different variations starting in different places. You can start on the top note and descend. trying to make that as legato as possible. I'm also trying to palm mute, do some noise suppression duty. Again, notice I started on an upstroke. You don't always start on a downstroke. Some licks work better starting on an upstroke. It depends on your string crossing, what direction you're going, right? And if you want to take a more of an alternate picking approach, you could play 16-note triplets. You could do something like this. Get that nice speed bag type of flick, right? And you could do that starting an octave higher. Finally, here's one other path, a very useful fretboard path. This one's not quite as long. It's 2 octaves, it's a full 2 octaves, and we're starting on A on the 5th string, 12th fret, and we're going to take the same shape, right? We're just moving it here, and now we're going to go. Whenever you cross between the G and B strings, it always throws a monkey wrench into the works because of the way they're tuned. They're tuned a major 3rd apart. All the other strings are tuned a perfect 4th apart. Makes you kind of tempted to tune all your strings E, A, D, G, C, F, right? But, then you couldn't play open chords. So I'm going 12, 13, 12, 14, and in my second octaves on the G and B strings, I'm going 14, 15, 15, 17, and then I'm just barring for the high A note. That's a cool pattern, right? You could do the same thing with your triplet picking. Except you want to hit that note. See, I barred the ring finger there, the middle finger. These are the little things you discover when you try to take these bite-sized little shred cells out of the longer pattern, Oftentimes, it's just like one little useful thing, Sometimes you just want to go. That works, right? Just throw that into a solo. It's compact, convenient, and yeah, have fun with it.